All of you, welcome back to yet another video. In this video, we'll talk about the decentralized voting DApp project which we have built on the channel, that why this project is so important, and I'll also talk about some of the minor changes you have to do in the code base to execute, because recently Infura have made the changes in their terms and policies, so you no longer will use the Infura for deploying the images to the IPFS. So I have an alternative which I'm going to do the setup in this video. I believe that you guys have followed this entire project. It's a 4 hours long. This will teach you every single thing about the smart contract and how we have built the complex logic for having the voting system. So let me talk about the changes I have done. So right now you can see, so this is what we have coded together. I have already done the update. So if you will take the final source code, you will find this all updates already done there. So let me give you a quick walkthrough of the entire source code. So when you will download the final source code, you will have this update folder and you will have this voting. In this we have coded together, and in this I have done the minor update. That's what I'm going to provide you. So very first folder we have is the artifact. This is what you will get. I would suggest you to simply delete it because we go to generate a new artifact. Then you will have the assets. In that, all the asset is already provided to you. So candidate, this all, that's all is given, and we are simply importing in index and there from exporting. So this is what we have in the assets. Here we have the cache. You can simply remove that one because we don't need that. Then we have the components. We have the button component, we have the card component, we have the input component, we have nav bar, we have the voter card, we have the loader. So that's all we have here. Close this one. Then we have the context. In that you will find that we have these constants, and here I have done all the configuration for the network. So some of you have asked me that how we can test our contract locally using Hardhat. I will show you how you can do that, and I will also show you that how you can deploy the contract to the Polygon test network, because Polygon Mumbai is depreciated. So here I have done all the configuration for the test network. So if you want to test on the local environment using Hardhat, all you have to do is to simply copy this name, and that's all you have to provide here. So it will automatically configure MetaMask to your local host. If you want to deploy to any test network, simply configure that. So you can see these are the important data which you have to provide no matter which blockchain you are deploying. If you're going with Ethereum, you have to get the chain ID, name, currency, decimal point, and RPC URL. So this is the network configuration we have done. That's what we have in the constant file. We have this API of our contract. I'm going to simply remove because we're going to generate a new API when we compile our contract. Then we have our voter.js, and here we are doing the entire context management of our application. I have done a little bit modification in the code structure because some of you have faced the error related to the gas limit. So I'll show you that if you face that error, then what you have to do and how you can provide that gas limit in the function and where you have to provide. That's all I'm going to talk about it. So that's what we have here. Then we have the contract, and this is what we have coded together in the project. So it's a huge contract. I would again encourage you to follow the complete project. That will teach you a lot of things, that how you can build this kind of application. So that's our contract. If you come back to the pages, we have built all of these pages. So this is the app.js. Here we have done the entire configuration of our context management. Then all voter candidate registration, we have the index and voter list. So these are the pages we have here. Close this one, and we have the public. Inside that we have this two icon which you don't need to worry about it. Then we have the script, and first we're going to deploy our contract in our local host using Hardhat. Then we're going to deploy to the Polygon test network. So this is the command I have provided. Then we have the CSS. So all the CSS we have coded together in the complete project, so you won't have any issue. This is the global CSS we have added. Here we have the index CSS, and we have the voter list CSS. So that's all we have covered extensively in the project. So make sure to follow the complete project. So this is the style file we have. Now we have the test, which you don't need to worry about it. Then you have to come back to this Hardhat config, and here I have done all the configuration. So if you are testing using Hardhat, then you have to simply comment this one. You have to comment this, because if you don't comment this and you will run the command testing your contract locally, then it's going to throw an error. But when you go to deploy the contract to the test network like Polygon, then you have to bring this back and you have to comment this. And here you have to provide your private key, which I'll show you how you can do that. So we're going to deploy to the Polygon test network. So this is the RPC endpoint for a Polygon test network. But if you want to deploy to any other network like Safari, Gorilla, Binance, you have to simply replace the RPC endpoint, and that's the only thing you have to do. Or you have to simply change the name. You can call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter. But when you will run this script, here we have this script, you have to simply call the same name which you have defined here. So I have called this, and that's what I have called here. So that's the configuration you have to do, and the rest to be fine. You don't need to do anything. Now I'll simply close this one and close this one. Now come back to the contract and let me explain you the architecture we have designed in our smart contract. So here you will find all the function, all the variables which we have declared. So this is the, for the candidate, we have the event, we have the array, and here we have this details for the voters. So these are the information we are taking from voters, and we also have the event. So here you can see that this voter organizer, no matter which account you will use, when you will deploy the contract, that account going to be your voter organizer, and this has the power to register candidate and register voter. So that's what we have here in constructor. And here we have the function called set candidate, and in that you will notice that this particular function can only call by the organizer. If someone else try to call it, it's not going to work. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind, because some of you have faced this problem. You try to use different account and try to create candidate and register a voter. In that, the transaction will obviously fail because only owner of the contract has the right. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. And the same thing we have applied in all the function where we are getting the data and where we are registering the voter. So here you can see, here we have the vote right. So it's the same logic we have applied here. Only organizer can have the right to register a voter. So I hope you guys have got an idea that what architecture we have applied in our smart contract. Again, I would encourage you to follow the complete project if you really want to master the every single architecture which we have discussed deeply in the project. So this is our contract, and if I come back here in this readme file, I have given you this particular account. So let me zoom out a bit and let me show you what I have exactly. So I'm going to use Hardhat for deploying our contract in our local environments. So Hardhat give you 20 plus account, which I will show you. So here I have given this. So this particular account is going to be my owner of the contract, and here I have a couple of addresses which I have got from Hardhat. So these are the 3 candidate I'm going to register, and we have 5 voters. So these are the addresses I'm going to use for voting, and these are the candidates who are going to get vote. So I have given you these addresses. You can use the same addresses, so I'll show you how you can get that. So this is the instruction which is given. Now the very first thing you have to do, once you will get this code, you have to check all of the folder which I have explained you. Now you have to check your node version, which is very important because Hardhat is compatible with a specific node version. So if I come back to the packages and file, you will find that all of these packages are absolutely fine. There is no problem in that. So don't make any changes in the package version. Use the exact version we have used in the project. And here you can see we have this Hardhat and Hardhat Nomic Foundation. So we are using this particular version. I would recommend you to use the exact version. We have an updated version, but don't use that, because if you use the updated version, we have to reconfigure the entire architecture of our Hardhat config file and the deploy scripts, which I don't want to do it. Just use the exact one because this one is well compatible. So this is the version we are using, and this particular version, this Hardhat is only compatible with a specific node version. So if you have the latest node version in your computer, in your system, it's not going to work. So you have to use this particular node version. So let me clear my terminal, and you can see we are already into this particular folder, voting DApp. Now we have to get into this folder. So we are into the main directory. We have to get into this particular folder. So simply copy this one name. I'll paste here, I'll cd and this. So now I'm into this particular directly in the updated code section. Now what I have to do is I have to check my node version. I'll say node-v. So I'm using this particular node version, and it's 100% compatible with all the packages we have included, including the Hardhat, because Hardhat is not compatible with 19, 20 and 21 and the listed nodes version. So use the exact one. At the end I will show you that if you don't want to use the Hardhat, you can use remix id for deploying your contract and generating the API. But in that case you have to remove the Hardhat file. So you can remove this particular one, you can remove this test, you can remove the script, and you can remove the packages from here as well. So in that way you won't have any issue, and you can simply use remix id to deploy your contract to the test network, and from there you can get the address and the API, and you can simply replace here, and you can also replace the addresses here. We have it, which I will show you. Don't need to be panic. Okay, so this is the first thing. You have to check your node version, then you have to check your npm version. So these are the 2 versions I'm using for npm and node. If you don't know how to downgrade or upgrade, so make sure to watch this video. In that I have explained that how you can downgrade your node version or upgrade your node version. So this is your first requirement. Once you have this, now you have to simply install the packages. So bring it up, type npm I or install, both will work fine. Hit enter. This process will take a little bit time, although the packages we are using It's very light in nature. And here we are getting this depreciated. Don't need to worry about it. It's mean that we have updated version of all the packages, but we want to use the same version which is very stable. And here we are getting this particular command, npm audit fix force. I would suggest you not to run this command because many of you run this command and it's changed the package version, which create the problem. So once you install successfully, now clear your terminal. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing you have to do is you have to run your local node, because we are using Hardhat for deploying our contract. So I'm going to do is I'm going to simply type npx Hardhat and node. This will start the local blockchain in our system and it will give you 20 plus accounts. So hit enter and you will see that here our local node is running absolutely fine. So the Hardhat will learn the local node and it will give you 20 plus account which you can import in your MetaMask and simply test your contract. So if I come back here in the readme file, you can see here I've got all of these addresses I got from here, because by default when you will deploy the contract, Hardhat will use the very first account, and that's the account I have taken here. So you can see 2266, and this is the private key which you have to use to import the account in your MetaMask. So this is the address and the private key which we're going to use for deploying our contract. Same thing for the candidate. So you can see we have 3 addresses. So this is the 1, 2 and 3, and what I have here 796 79C8 79C8. We have this 93BC 93BC. We have this one, then we have the next one B906 B906. So this is all the account which I got it from here, and that's what I have provided. And you will have exactly the same addresses when you will run this particular command. So I have already done the hard work. You don't need to simply copy and paste it. So this is the account which we're going to use for testing our contract. So this is the first thing you have to do. You have to run your local node, and you have to make sure you have to run this local node. Don't stop it. So once your node is running, you have to simply split your terminal and you have to be in the same directory, updated code. And now we have to simply run the command for deploying our contract. So come back here in the script, come back here, and here we have the command. So all you have to do is to simply get this particular one, copy this one, paste here and hit enter. This is going to compile your contract and then it's going to deploy the contract to our local host. So it's going to give you the address. So this process takes a little bit time, and finally the contract is deployed. Here you will have the artifact inside the contract. You will have the contract ABI which we need to interact with our contract in the front end. So simply drag and drop here in the context, click on move, and now we got our ABI. This is the entire ABI of our contract which we have coded together in the project. So we got our ABI. Here we got the address. By default you will have the same address when you will deploy the contract, because that's how Hardhat works. So if you deploy your very first account, you always get the same address. If you have multiple accounts, so first address is this, second address it will be different. So simply copy the address, come back here in the context constants, and all you have to do is to simply provide it here, voting address, paste here. And here you can see there is one more address. So this is called contract owner, which is the address one, this one, because this is the address Hardhat will use by default. So this is what you have to provide. Simply copy this one, copy this name, and that's you have to provide here because we are testing locally. So paste here. Now save it. Now before we start running the application, we have to do one more thing. I'm going to remove the localhost network configuration which I already have. If you already configure the localhost in your MetaMask, and when you will run the application, it will run smoothly, because some of you have faced this problem due to the network configuration. So that's why this is the advanced setup I have done. So for being on the safer side, for a easy understanding, I would suggest you to simply come back in your MetaMask. So let's come back here and come back. So this is where I have, so you can simply get the starter file and you can simply start following the complete project. Okay, so let's come back here. I can click here. Now I'm going to simply log into my MetaMask. So let's type my password, hit enter. Here I'm into my MetaMask. You can see the node is running. So if I come back to the code, here you will find this node is running. That's why you can able to see this account reflecting this fund. And I've already done the import of the accounts. So you can see this is the account number 1. So this is the account. So this is the account. So this is the account which I have imported. So this is the first account which Hardhat used for deploying my contract, and that's what I have imported in my browser. So if I That's what I've imported in my browser. So if I simply copy it, come back here, click on that. If you don't know how to import, you can do it the exactly way. Click on this import and paste here and import. I have already done the import. That's why I'm saying that you cannot import twice. So this is the account which I have imported, and you can see it has less fund because this is the account I've used for deploying the contract. That's why some fund got deleted, and you can see address. So this is my owner of the contract. So this particular account has the right to create candidate and register voter. If I go to my other account, which I have imported from Hardhat, like this one is my real account, this two is also my real account, and all this account is the Hardhat account. So you can see this has the full fund, this has also the full fund, this has also the full fund, and all of these accounts has full fund. So that's the first thing. Now come back and let's delete this network. So I'll change my network, and now I will have an option to delete. So click on this delete. And now you will notice that I don't have Hardhat. So if they don't have the network in the MetaMask, it will automatically add them. Let me show you how it will work. So let me minimize it. I'm going to simply come back here and I'm going to start the application. So type npm run def, hit enter. It's going to start the application on localhost 3000. Now you can come back here. So I have already set this localhost 3000. You can also simply type it, and here you can see I'm getting this particular warning because I'm already connected with the MetaMask. That's why it's reflecting here. So I can simply click here and you will see it will automatically configure this particular network in my MetaMask. I have to simply approve and switch, and here I'm back. If you reload the page, I won't have any issue. I can simply come back here and I can simply log out with the application. You will see I don't have any issue. So it will show me this connect to wallet. You can click here, it will open. You can simply give your password and hit enter. So here we are logged in. Right now we don't have any candidate, we don't have any voter. Now before we start going to create our candidate and voter, the very first thing you have to do is come back and you have to be in the same account, the owner account, and you have to clear all your MetaMask history, because this is the problem we have. If you don't clear your MetaMask history, it's going to throw an error. So make sure to clear your MetaMask history, advance, and clear the history. So that's what we have. Now I will come back here in my code base and I want to show you the changes I have done in here. You will find here we have the function. So we have this particular function called create voter, which allow us to write data into a smart contract. So open this one and you will notice that here I have added this gas limit. But I would encourage you that first remove this and test your contract. If you face error, then only provide. So that's the thing I want to suggest you. I'm going to keep it on you guys. Okay, so here we have added the gas limit in the create voter, and we have also added in the give vote. So first test without this gas limit. If it's giving you an error, then provide it, because it's happened sometime and it's the problem on the network. We don't have any issue in the code. And we have to do the same thing in the set candidate. So in these three places you have to add the gas limit, or you can remove it. So test that if it's causing the issue, then you can add, otherwise you can simply remove it. So that's the first thing. And now the second thing is that you have to get your own API key and secret key. So come back here and here you will find we have 4 functions. So the first function in which you have to replace your Pinata API key and secret key is in this one, upload to IPFS. If you open that one, in that you will find that here you have to provide your Pinata API key and here you have to provide your Pinata secret key. So this is the first change you have to do in this particular function. Then you have to come back to the second function called upload to IPFS candidate. The same key you have to provide here. Same key you have to provide, API key and secret key, and make sure you don't need to change this content type. Only change these keys, don't change the content type. So here you have to provide your Pinata API key and secret key. Now you have to come back to create voter. Here you have to also replace the Pinata API key and secret key, because we are uploading this data as a form of JSON. That's what we have taken. So in the earlier one, when we are uploading the image, we are using form data, JSON data. So here you have to also replace your API key and secret key. Then we have to do in one more place. So here we have the candidate, open this one, and here you have to also replace. So in these 4 places you have to replace your API key and secret key. So let me show you how we can get that. So come back, open a new tab, type Pinata Cloud. This is a powerful platform which allow you to upload your data to the IPFS into a decentralized ecosystem. So make sure to check. I already have my account. If you don't have your account, so make sure to create one. So I'll simply click on this login. So here I got into my Pinata dashboard, and here I will find all the files which I have uploaded to the IPFS. So first thing you have to do is come back to the API key section, and here you will find all the API key which you have created. So I have created a bunch of API key. So click on this new key, and you have to give whatever name you want. I can say that test vote, that's what I can call. Make sure to have an admin level access, and from here you can able to set the limit. So in one API key in the free account you have limit to 1000. If you want to use more than that, then you have to simply upgrade your account, but 1000 is enough. So once you're done with that, click on this generate API key. It's going to generate the API key. So you can simply copy this one, and you can come back here in the code, and that's what you have to provide here. So simply paste here, same thing, copy this one, and that's what you have to paste here. Got it? Then simply select this, copy this one, and close this one, and simply release this one. I'm not releasing it because this is the new key which I created in the morning to show you everything is working fine. So the same you have to replace in all the places. In the same way you have to replace in all the places. Got it? And you have to replace the last one. I'm showing you every single thing so you guys not get confused. And paste here. So once you get your own API key up and running, everything's fine. And now what you have to do is come back to the application, and we are ready to create our first candidate and vote. So I'm done, and I'm going to simply close this one. Now here we are into our application. Now click on this, go back to the registered candidate registration. Here you will come. Now you can simply upload the image. So I'll click on this, and I have to select this particular dude, and here we have the loader. So this is the extra component we have added. So here the image is uploaded successfully. I can call this, let's call this Daulat USSAN Hossein. This is the name. And now I will come back to my file, come back here, and I will come back to the readme file, because here I have already copied all the addresses which I want to use it. You can use any which I want to use it. So this is the first candidate I am registering. Simply copy the address, and that's what I can simply provide here. You can call the age or position whatever you, I can call it 45, and click on authorize candidate. And here I'm getting this particular warning that only owner of the contract can create candidates, but I'm the owner. Why it's saying me this particular error? And I'm getting this error warning. My bad. I know what is the problem I have. So come back here in the set candidate, and here I have this condition. So I have to say equal to, okay, I have to check the current address with the on address. If it's true, then I have to simply execute it. Otherwise I have to throw the error message. So I hope you have understood. So make sure to check this, and so make sure to change this one. Save it. Now come back here now to the page, and we are ready to deploy one. Click here, click on our first candidate. It will load, and just wait. Here we go. Let's call this Hussein. Let's give the address. So I'll come back in my code to the readme file. I have to get this address. Copy this one, come back here and paste here. Then I have to get the age and call it 25. Click on authorize candidate. Now it's going to open MetaMask and it will complete our transaction. So just wait. And we got our MetaMask set candidate function. We are calling. Click on confirm. And here our transaction got completed, and we'll see the data is reflecting here. So right now there is 0 vote, and this is the ID, this is the age, and this is the address. Now let's come back here and let's create other candidate. So I'll come back here. Let's do that very quickly. Here it's uploaded successfully. Now I can call it, let's say Amit, paste the address. I can call it 45, and I can click on authorize candidate. It will open the MetaMask. Now click on confirm, and here we have created our third candidate. So we have created third candidate. You can create as many as you want, but I'm just going to keep it to third. Now let's come back here. Let's come back to the voters and let's create voter. So I can come back in my voter and I can come back here and I have to do the same changes here in the voter function because by mistake I have done that not equal comparison. So I'll say equal. If current address is equal to honor, then I have to simply execute the function. Otherwise I have to throw the error message. So this is the change you have to do. Now we are ready to create. So I'm going to take this. So this is the address for voter. So this is the one. I'm going to simply copy it. Come back. Let me register the voter. Click on that. Select this smoking dude. And here I got it. Let's call voter 1 address and I'll say 41. Click on authorize. Once the transaction will complete, this particular voter will be registered in our smart contract. So here we have to confirm the transaction. So here the voter is registered and you can see the status is not voted. So once the voter will give the vote, the status will change. Now let's do the same thing. Let's register one more voter. Let's register all the 5s. So I'm going to do a little bit quickly. So let me do that very quickly. So here I have registered all the 5 voter, all the accounts which I have taken as a voter. That's all I have registered. And here I have registered the candidate, and this is the honor of the contract. And all of this account I have already imported into my MetaMask. So if I open this one, 4, 5, 6. So all of these 3 accounts are candidate, and here I have first voter address. This one is second voter address, and we have all that as well. So you can see we have multiple voter address which you can import. So you can import the simply private key and this address will be added in your MetaMask. I will import this particular account as well. So let's do that very quickly. So copy this one, come back here, and I'm going to come back here, click on the import account, and paste import. So this account is already imported. I can come back here. Now I can see yes, this account is imported. Click here and paste here and click on import. So here we have this. Let's do the same thing with this one. So this is again import. Again, I don't want to do the same thing over and over again, but this is the exact thing you have to do. Paste and import. So here I imported. Now if you come back here, we're ready to get vote. So just wait. So here we have this 3 voters, and here I'm in this particular account number 10. So make sure to connect this, and here I'm connected. Now we have changed our account, so we have to simply clear our MetaMask. Otherwise, it's going to give an error. So clear that. Here we go. Refresh. Got it. Now I'm able to give vote to anybody. So if I want to give this vote to number 1, 2, or 3, I can give this. I go with this view, give vote to 2, and I'm going to open the MetaMask. And here I'm casting my vote. So I'll simply click on confirm. The transaction will complete. Let me open this one, and here is the pending state. So sometimes it's taking a little bit of time, and you can see the transaction is completed. We have successfully given our vote. So if you go to the page, here you can see this got 1 vote. And if you come back to the candidate vote list, there you will find that this particular user, so this is the last account which I imported, is already given this vote. Correct? I have given my vote. So if I try to give the vote one more time, it's going to be an error. So let's come back here. If I have to give one more vote, it's going to open the MetaMask and the transaction will fail. Transaction will fail because I have already given out vote. What I will do, I'll come back here also in my account, and I'll go back to the next account. So these accounts I have imported, so I cannot give a vote for this. Let's go with the 7 one. This account I have already imported, and I have already registered this account as a voter. So I should clear history, reload the page, and let's give vote. So you can give the vote this guy or this guy. Work fine. Let's give this to guy. It will open, and make sure to simply confirm. time it's a little bit, and here it's got completed. We have given our votes as well. So now we have to wait till the transaction is completed. So we have given our vote. Now I'm going to the next account. So I'll switch back to the account number 8. I guess I have registered this account. I have to clear my MetaMask history. Once I clear, reload the page. Now I will give my vote. So I'm going to give my vote to this guy. One. Click on this go vote. It's going to open this one, and I have to click on confirm. Now you can see it's completed. So if I come back here, it's in the pending state, and now the vote is complete. So if you reload the page, here is changed to 2. So we have given our vote. I hope you guys have understood that how everything is coming together and how you can give vote and register candidate. So everything is explained extensively in the project. I would encourage you to come and watch the complete project. You will understand every single thing. So you have seen everything is working absolutely fine. All the status are getting changed. So this user given vote, this user given vote, this user given vote, and these are the user not given their vote. So all of this data you will find. So that's all we have designed here. Everything is working absolutely good. So this is how you can test your contract locally in Hardhat environment. Now let me show you, if you want to deploy the contract to the Polygon test network, then how you can do that. So although I'm not going to do the transaction on the test network because I don't have much fund and I don't have enough accounts. So if I switch back to account number 1, so this is the only 2 account which I have. So I cannot able to do the testing, and you cannot able to use all of this Hardhat account in actual test network. So I will show you how you can deploy, but the process is exactly the same, the way we have done internally using localhost and Hardhat. So what I have to do is I have to simply come back to my code base. Now simply close all of that, and let's deploy our contract to the Polygon test network. So I'm going to simply open up my terminal. I'm going to stop the application from running. I'm going to simply delete this one, and our Hardhat is stopped. Now what we have to do is, you can simply delete this artifact or you can keep it. There is no problem in that. You can delete this cache as well. There is no problem in that. And here we have this API of our contract. So if you make any changes in your contract, even a simple spelling a comma, then you have to provide the updated API. Otherwise you can keep this API or you can delete it. But let's delete it, because when we deploy a contract, it's going to generate the new API for us, and that's what we're going to use it. So this is what you have to do. Now you have to come back to the constants. Come back here, and here you can see I'm going to deploy the contract to the Polygon MOI. So that's what I have to simply copy, and that's what I have to simply paste here, because this time we are not testing locally, we are using test network. So this is the one change you have to do. Now you have to come back here in the Hardhat config file, and here you have to do the changes. So make sure you have to comment this, and you have to uncomment this, and here you have to provide your private key of your wallet. You can literally deploy to any network. Make sure to change the RPC endpoint, give your private key of your wallet which you want to use for deploying the contract. So this is the change you have to do. Now let me show you how you can get the private key of your wallet. So come back in the browser. Here you can see we have a bunch of accounts. So I'm going to go to my first account, and this is the account which I'm going to use. So I will click here. I will switch my network to Polygon MOI, and you can see I already have this much fund. If I go to my account number 2, I guess in this account I have a lot of fun. So I already have this much fun on Polygon MOI network. So first you have to pick the network which you want to use for deploying your contract. So I will go with this network BB0, and I already have this much fun. In your case, if you don't have this fund, then you can simply claim a free faucet. So open a new tab and type Polygon faucet. Click on the very first link, and you will come here, and this particular tool will provide you free faucet which you can use to test your contract and deploy on the test network. And from here we can able to transfer the faucet. So it's telling us to connect with the Discord, so click on that, and it's generally a 2-step process. First you have to authorize, and then you have to simply join the Discord server. I have already joined the Discord server, so it's not telling me to join it. So it will straight away redirect me here, and it will give me the option to get and claim a couple of free tokens. So you can see if I click one more time, it will redirect there, and it will tell me to authorize, and it will again bring me the same place. And the reason why it's happening, because in the morning I have claimed the faucet which you can see in my wallet address. That's why it's not giving me the option to transfer it. But in your case you will have an option. So first you have to authorize, then join the Discord server, and then you can simply claim. So select this network, then let it be like this, and here you have to simply paste the address which you want to use it. So I'm going to use this one. Simply copy, paste, and send. So this is how you can get your faucet. Once you get your faucet, now Once you get your faucets, click on the MetaMask, open the account which you want to use it for deployment. Click on this three dot, click on this account details, click on the show private key, and here you have to pass your MetaMask password. So I'll say password, and here I got the private key of my wallet. So I'll simply copy this one and come back to my code, and here I have to provide my private key. In your case, you have to provide your private key. So let me quickly replace, then we're going to simply deploy. So finally I have replaced my private key. Now I'm going to simply close this one, come back to the script, deploy, and now we have to run this particular command. So simply copy this command, open up your terminal, let me zoom a bit so you guys can see better, and paste here and hit enter. This will compile the contract and it will deploy to the Polygon test network. So it's taking a little bit time because this time we are actually deploying to the test network, and here we got it successfully compiled. Here we got this artifact contract. Now we can simply take this and drag and drop here in the context. We got it, we got the address of our contract. So simply copy this one, come back to the constants, and here we have to simply provide it. So this is the, I'll call this one Hardhat local host. I'll simply replicate it and I'm going to simply comment this one, and this one is the Polygon test. So that's what we have, and here I'm going to simply replace the address. I'll simply copy this one, and that's what I have to provide here. I got it. Make sure to remove this space. I got the address. Now I have to replace the address of the contract owner. So this time we are using this particular address. So I'll simply copy this one. That's what I'm going to replace. So let me replicate this and say Hardhat. Simply comment this one, and this one is going to be real added address, and I'm going to simply paste that. So this time this particular account has the authority to add and register candidate and voter. So this is the change you have to do, and that's the only thing you have to do. Now simply close this one, and now we are ready to start our application. So before I start the application, let me show you what I will do. I'll simply come back here, go back here, and I'm going to simply delete this particular network. So it will automatically configure in our MetaMask. So delete it. So right now you can see that particular network is not here. So when I will simply come back here, I'll start the application npm run dev. It will start the application on locals 3000. I can come back here, reload the page. You will see here the MetaMask popped up. Here we are saying that something went wrong, and you have to click on this approve, and switch network. And here we are connected. Simply reload the page and looks fine. So we are connected with the application. Now you can simply register candidates. So I can come back here and I can go with this. So this is the account which I have used. I can go with the very first account because that's the only real account I have. I cannot use the Hardhat account. So I'll simply come back here, change, and I have to clear my MetaMask history and remove that one. Now I can able to create on the test network. So click on this. Here we got it. It's loading. Once it will load completely, now I can say PAULAT Daulat HUSSN Hussain, paste the address, and I can give 45. Click on this authorize candidate, and now we are making the transaction on actually Polygon test network. So here we have, click on this, confirm, and it's going to make our transaction. So here it's in the pending state. Just wait. Once the transaction will complete, it's going to reflect here. So it's taking a little bit time. And finally the transaction is completed. Now you can simply reload the page and you will find the candidate we got it. So in the same way you can register multiple candidate, multiple voter. It's totally up to you, but I don't want to exhaust my fund because it's very hard to get this test faucet. So I hope you have understood that what exactly you have to do when you will get the final source code. You will get the final source code, and if you want to test the contract which I have deployed, so like this is the contract which I have deployed and it's active. So when you will get the final source code, make sure to install the packages and simply run this particular command npm run dev. So when you will run this particular command, you will see this is the one candidate you will find because it's live on the Polygon test network. So you can able to see the data reflecting here. So I hope now everything is clear that what exactly you have to do. Again, the final source code is given, the startup file is given, the complete project is available. So simply download the startup file and start following the complete project. That will teach you every single thing, that what exactly you have to do, how you can build this kind of real world application to organize, conduct event, conduct voting. So this will help you a lot. So this is what exactly we going to build in that particular video, in that particular project. So I'm going to sort of stop the application, close this on, close this one. So with that, we are done. I hope you guys have understood that what exactly you have to do when you will get the final source code and how you can execute that. If you have any question, any doubt, do let me know in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you with that. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.